You have the coolest tattoos ever. You are tatted up. You're like, I had no clue because you're like looking at a comic book.
She's a graphic novel.
Is that what you're saying? A human graphic novel, and it's really cool.
Thank you. My best friend actually switched careers in her 30s and became a tattoo artist and asked if she could practice on me. So I got a new tattoo about every 2 weeks for a year and a half.
So fingers crossed, I could be working at the bakery in Costco.
You know what would be cool is if you became a sample lady and then and you did it before we got there, and then we could go in and we could take like 2 or 3 samples.
Right. I mean, because that would be the best use of all of our time would be for me to get a job as a sample lady so that you guys could have more than one sample while you're here in San Antonio.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They would be very excited.
So Kiki's channel is about how she went from $11 an hour to 6 figures, and mine is going to be about how I went from 6 figures to $11 an hour.
Yeah, the mirror image. If ghosts can have power of electricity where they can turn a light on or off,
yeah,
right, or move a light downward, which happened to Garrett when he was at Hotel Disney or whatever.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they write a message in the sand or text us? Because the texting is all electricity.
And so when I woke up and I went into the bathroom and there was a note sitting on the sink, and I'm actually going to read it to you because I don't want to get her hilarious word for word wrong. Good morning. I did not flush the toilet because I didn't want to wake you up. I am not that gross as to forget to flush the toilet. See you later, Trisha.
See, I take personal offense.
Well, that's funny.
Because I'm always forgetting to flush, and I don't know why.
You got too many candles on your birthday cake, Gene. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Grew up with.
And a lot of people, they don't flush because they're conserving water.
Yeah, and so I want to save the earth so much that if it's brown, let it mellow. That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty fucking gross, Gene. I just lost all kinds of respect for you right there.
Kirsten also has a brand new channel, which is very important because Kirsten, I was joking that your channel is about how to go from $11 an hour to 6-figure income, and my channel is about how to go from a 6-figure income to $11 an hour.
Well, it's not about that necessarily. You're not just talking about it. Just happened to
happened. I can show you how it happened, though. That's the important thing.
I served time once for teaching preschoolers how to party.
That can be taken in so many awful ways.
I know, right? I know. Given the topic of today's atmosphere,
right?
I'm gonna.
It just shows how Mormon I was.
I'm gonna play that as a short, right?
Megan, we should have named our channel Relief Society Sluts or something like that.
Dang it! Missed opportunity.
Sister Slut.
Right?
Oh
yeah.
What do they say that how to have love at home? You have to have a penis in your assault.
What?
Well, there you go.
The joke goes that the missionaries were visiting a little old lady who had a thick accent, and they asked her, what's your secret to to a good life? And she said, happiness in your household. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Right?
Does that apply for men and women?
It does, apparently.
Welcome to Momo Nomo, the home of the happy apostate and we have my wonderful co-host, Gene Judson, with his channel, Latter Daily Digest. And we are honored and so tickled to have on our show not just Megan Conner and Kirsten Creel, who is, these two are freaking hilarious. What we were doing today is you guys have seen success with your Megan. I think it was on your channel initially, right? Your third_verse.
Yes.
And it was the Family Home Evening Show, which is, I'm going to tell everybody, it's the funniest damn show online right now.
Well, thanks. We try.
And it's, yeah, it's hilarious. It's really fun. So fun enough that you decided to create a channel specifically for this show, and whoever else, or I mean, whatever else comes along, I'm sure will go on there too. But yeah, I get a big kick in the head out of watching that channel already. And if you guys could tell us about it, I think it's called, is it just Snark, or is it like
ExMormon Snark?
ExMormon Snark.
Yes.
Yes, set it up. Tell us who did what to start the ball rolling and thinking that a new channel was necessary and stuff like that.
And
Well,
tell
we
us
both-
what home
Sorry.
evening is and all that, just for those who are nevermos.
Yeah, so Kirsten and I both, ever since I interviewed her on my channel about her connection to my dumb cousin, Kirsten and I discovered that we had a rapport, and we loved talking to each other and just enjoyed each other's company. And so we decided that we were going to, do a show on my channel that was ExMormon themed. And we decided, I can't remember how we came to this conclusion, but I was going through some of my some of my Mormon memorabilia that I had saved over the years. And I realized that I had my original Book of Mormon reader, which I always have to show it because it's so unbelievably old.
I have mine too.
It is.
Nice.
This is the original Book of Mormon reader that I learned out of from 1978. I can prove that it's mine because I tried to scrawl my name on the back cover. You probably can't see it that well, but it's there.
I love it so much.
And I decided that when I was burning all of my Mormon things, I decided to keep this one because I thought someday I'm going to do a series of episodes where I just go through this and show people what I was taught as a child, how the indoctrination started. And so I was showing Kirsten that I still had mine. And that's sort of where we came up with the idea of doing a family night. And then we decided that, we were going to have actually good treats instead of, the lame, not that Rice Krispie treats are lame, they can be great, but we decided that our treats would be alcoholic beverages, and that would make it even more fun, which I think I can equivocally say that it has been more fun. Kirsten came up with the edible glitter idea. So we literally take turns. One of us presents the lesson. The other one is in charge of the treat. And we do say an opening and closing prayer, which is usually God bless this alcoholic beverage. Yes. And we also talk through some of the songs that we sang as children because we don't want to get copyright strikes from the MFMC. So we don't actually sing them, but that's coming because on our channel, we're going to have memberships. And since people will be paying for the memberships, we don't need to monetize that content. So we can do whatever we want copyright wise. And we both sing and play the piano. So we will be doing duets of all of the Mormon songs, and we may probably change some words here and there.
Yeah,
can you both hold your books up at the same time? Because it looks to me like there may be different editions. Right?
They are very different editions because Kirsten and I are not the same age, you guys.
Exactly. I'm 30 years older.
I made a deal with Satan himself for this skincare. I have to live until 150, but the 3 Nephites and I hang out occasionally, talk about our lives.
Well, I saw your tattoos.
Yes.
And so I knew that you were satanic right there. With all those colorful fun tattoos on. Oh yeah, check that out. See?
Yeah, this is my 80s sleeve because I am an 80s baby. I have Skeletor on there and Green Slimer and Smurfette, all sorts of fun stuff.
That's so cool.
Very satanic,
Yes, yeah, it's evil. Well, you're evil just having those tattoos.
I mean,
You're
I have a
marked
Barbie
woman.
tattoo,
Oh,
I want people to really know that I'm a bad element. So
are there Barbies with tattoos?
Mine did, and my tattoo artist
Barbie.
We actually talked about, she used to draw with Sharpie all over her Barbies, and her parents were like, no, don't ruin your Barbies. And she's like, and why were they surprised I became a tattoo artist? And I had a teddy bear that I would draw on like tattoos and stickers and things like that. My mom would throw them in the wash. It would all come off because of washable marker. I did it 1,000 times. So you'd think they would know.
I have 2 comments that I'd like to say. First of all, you talked about Rice Krispie treats, and you said, you kind of let it go by that Rice Krispie treats are freaking amazing if you put a little weed in them. and that would just go over great on your show with your, have some brownies or something. Do a few edibles an hour before your show, and then
I wish. Randy, I'm actually allergic. I used to partake and loved it.
What?
And occasionally I would get very sick, and I was like, oh, maybe I did too much, whatever. And I saw an allergist a couple years ago, and I was highly allergic to it. So yeah, I'm really sad. I miss it.
What happens? What happens when you ingest it?
I get hives, and often I throw up like projectile, and they're like, yeah, that's a sign of an allergy. And I was like, I had no clue. I just thought I coughed a lot. So
well, you may have to switch to mushrooms.
I mean, maybe not on
I'm
the
just
regular,
saying.
but that would make it very interesting, especially with the war chapters. Can you imagine? I'll be like, they're coming to get me, Megan.
Gene Judson recently did a show. It was Rob Tobler and I and Gene was on mushrooms when he did the show.
Nice. Microdosing.
Good for you, Gene.
Microdose.
Or regular dosing.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Live your best life, man.
And then my other comment was, I just want to put this back on. It's such a cute idea, such an incredible page, but you 2 look like maybe you were witnessing the slaughter of a cute puppy in the photograph. Or it's a lineup, police lineup photo or something.
Yeah, it is. So I'll tell you the story behind that is that I have ADHD, and I always have a list of 643 things that need to get done. And one of my mottos is that done is better than done perfectly. And I did not want to delay putting this channel up. And so I recycled a picture that was used from the thumbnail of our first interview, which was a much more serious topic.
Yeah.
And so that's where those pictures came from. And every single day, Kirsten and I have talked. And every single time we talk, we say, we need to replace that picture.
Megan, just send me a cute picture. Text me a cute picture of you. I will do it. I was going to say our TikTok and our Instagram, I literally just have the ExMormon Snark picture. That's all I have on there.
Yeah. So I said that, when we did our last episode, we recorded for about an hour and 20 minutes. And I think we got like 6 episodes worth of content out of it. I know that there are some times in there when we're both laughing and have wonderful smiles on our face. And so all I have to do is screenshot that out and put it into a picture, and then
it
we'll be done.
Perfect.
So by the time this episode airs, I hope that picture will be fixed.
There you go.
Me too.
That's my goal.
That would be great.
If that's the case, we'll stick it in.
You might laugh so much on the shows because maybe you're partaking of the snacks ahead of time.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, there have been episodes where we did not do that, and we still laugh a lot. Me and Megan just have those personalities that click. I mean, the first time we recorded together, it was like over 4 hours that we were talking, and there was crying, there was a lot of laughing, there was joking, and you know, I even like texted her after. I'm like, I feel so weird, but I want to be your friend, like in real life. and
I said, we already are friends.
Yeah, I remember that. And then, well, I was going to add too, I remember what started our FHE talk is when you did the Violence in the Book of Mormon episode. And you had showed that. And I called you and I was like, dude, we need to make this a thing because I have thoughts. And that's when we decided. And yeah. So,
and I remember hearing that Kirsten was a fangirl of Megan as like a 12-year-old or something.
Yes. Yeah. When she played the piano.
Yeah. This came out on one of our episodes that, you know,
crazy.
It's sort of like with you, Randy, where, you know, there was all of this weird crossover. And so after I interviewed Kirsten the first time, we realized that we sort of had crossed paths with each other, but we didn't know each other because she's more in my younger siblings' age range. But then we were on a show one night and we discovered that we actually had spoken to each other long, long ago.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's incredible. And I can really relate to that because Gene and I are somewhat the same way. He's, you know, older than I am considerably, but we just hit it off. We get along.
Yeah. I mean, and we have more stories that me and Megan are going to share at some point that we cross paths on girls camp and things like that, where I was being a brat and she was a leader. And I was like, do you remember that child? Because that was me.
You know, they say that
I actually don't remember Kirsten being a brat, but she does have one of the most epic girls' camp stories ever, which we won't spoil on here. You'll have to go to our channel because we're going to talk about girls' camp. We're going to talk about the temple. We're going to talk about EFY. We have a lot to cover. And that's why we decided to start a whole channel, because I never wanted my channel to be exclusively ex-Mormon content. And so we decided that this just needs to be a whole channel. We're going to be commenting on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and all current events that have to do with Mormonism, which, by the way, I spoiled it because I had my grandchildren visiting. But we need to do a breaking news story about the fact that the rapture didn't actually happen, because people will be surprised and shocked to hear that. And so we'll be doing that one soon as well.
Yeah. Well,
I saw Kirsten. I saw Kirsten do a video where she was waiting to be raptured. And it's like she waited and waited and finally went to bed. And you woke up and you were still, I'm assuming, still unraptured.
I'm still here.
Either it happened and we were all just left behind.
Well, it definitely didn't, because I have to tell this story. I actually made a short for it, but Megan slut shamed me, so I didn't put it up.
I did not. Okay, let's be clear. I did not slut shame her, but here's what was happening. I was out with my grandson at the Lego thing, and I got a text from Kirsten, and it was one of those things where, like, I just opened the text and glanced at it, and then I was doing something else.
Sure.
And so I came back to it a couple of minutes later, and it was Kirsten had sent me a short saying, like, is this okay? Should I post it? And I said, you know, like, I just glanced at it. And so my comment to her was, all I can see is boobs. So I say, post it, basically.
So this is what it was about, and it
Definitely
does go back
post
to
that.
the rapture.
Yeah.
I was on my morning run, and as we can all see, I do not have a small chest. So in a sports bra, they're like up to my chin. Okay. The whole thing was I was on my morning run, and I'm like, I know the rapture didn't happen because while I was on my run, a guy that was also running, he was like, hey, come here, which in hindsight, I could have been raped and killed. But he had a dog, and I wanted to pet it. So I went over there, and he was like, hi, good morning. I'm so glad, see you running. What a great way to start the day. And I was like, yeah. And I pet his dog. And he's like, do you see this cross I'm wearing? And I was like, good Lord, here we go. And he was like, I just need to tell you. And he bears testimony to me and tells me the rapture is coming and everything. And I was like, all right, thank you so much. Have a great day. So I leave. And I'm like, I did a short that I was like, this is how I know the rapture didn't happen, because he's still here. And so why couldn't I say, sir, I saw your cross, and I just want to say I don't believe in that, and you're being deceived. Have a great day. Like, why is that not socially appropriate? But him just stopping me on my run to bear testimony of Christ is appropriate. Do you know what I'm saying? But I mean, end of the day, I just think we all need to be a little sluttier, because if the world gets bad enough, the rapture will happen. So I'm going to keep showing my tits off. That's all I got to say.
So to me, that's a really, really, really sad story, because Jesus missed out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to validate that thought, Kirsten. I think that's noble.
Are we going to make a T-shirt that says the rapture isn't happening, show your boobs?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Show
exactly.
your tits for Jesus.
Well, I mean, think about it. With Sodom and Gomorrah and everything, they're like, it got so evil and wicked, like God had to burn the place, or everyone had to leave. The earth is so wicked. Okay, so let's get rid of these annoying people and just all be super wicked and sin a ton. We really got to step up our game, man. We got to get this rapture
We're not doing our part.
They want the rapture to happen. So I say it's a win-win-win situation. They're gone and get to see Jesus. We're here having the time of our life, being hedonists or whatever, and everyone's happy. That is win-win-win. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, I'm fighting the urge to show my tits off.
Hey.
Why fight it, Randy?
The male nipple is a glorious thing.
Jesus said, love one another to a bunch of guys. That's all I'll have to say.
There you go.
Maybe he wants that.
Sounds pretty gay to me.
Can I just ask this question? Because as long as we're on the topic of breasts, why in the hell do we have nipples, we men? And why is it okay for, say, I lived in France for a while at Euro Disney. I was opening the Euro Disney theme park. And you look shocked.
Be a huge Disner, just so you know. My whole right leg is Disney tattoos. So
what? Yeah. Well,
and she
I had
ran a half marathon at Disneyland also.
Yeah, I did the Disney.
Oh, very
marathon.
cool.
Her other leg is RoboCop movie.
It's actually Star Wars and She-Ra. I have a Jabba the Hutt tattoo. True story.
Really?
So,
You got to do on one of your episodes. You guys have to have Kirsten dressed down a little and show off her tattoos.
Maybe there could be a segment on each episode, Tat Time, where she's talking about
today we're going to do the forearm.
or tit time, either one.
Tit for tat.
Tit for tat.
But
that's what it's got to be called.
But the thing is, when I was over in Europe, my thing was after a day of work, I would go to the big swimming pool that was at the particular resort in which I was staying. And all the women there, I say all, probably 90% of them, had no tops on. And
Good for them.
well, yeah, that's what I said. Good for them. Good for me. But
good for everyone.
I thought you were going to say your thing was tattooed.
Well, yeah,
for you.
hot rod is tattooed on there. If I'm not excited, then it's just hot. But anyway, So I'm laying there and I'm trying not to be that American that's drooling, seeing all these boobs. And I really wasn't, because I had become very accustomed to it. After a few days, it's like, no big deal. You've seen two, you've pretty much seen them all. And I started wondering, why is it that the nipple on a woman is so sacred and hidden, yet it's nothing for men to walk around with their nipples exposed? What is that? Who made that rule? I don't get it.
I'm pretty sure men.
People.
Weirdos. I don't know.
I've got my little chihuahua on my lap right now, as I always do. He's got nipples. Why? I've got nipples. Gene has nipples. Why do we have them?
Yeah, it's totally unfair.
Evolution.
I support the free the nipple movement.
I'm with you. Yeah.
All I have to say is that whenever this is going to be another ADHD tangent, and I did take my medicine, I promise, but anytime somebody starts talking about male nipples, there is a TikTok that lives rent-free in my head where it's a veterinary tech, and they're speaking in that they've got that filter on their voice that makes them sound like they're sort of singing. And somebody brings in their little dog and says, can you please help me? My dog's got bug bites all over its body. And the vet tech turns the dog over and says, well, where are these, bug bites? And she says, look, they're all over his belly. And she goes, ma'am, those are his nipples. And she said, he can't have nipples. He's a boy dog.
I assure you, ma'am, that they can. People are fun.
Yes.
People are fun.
It's a word.
So back to Snark.
Yeah.
What is your next episode coming up?
Well, we do a family night episode every week, but our channel, we just barely got the permission that we need to do lives on our own channel. So the FHE has been on my channel at _verse up until now. So from now on, our Monday night lives will be on our ExMormon Snark, the FHE channel. And I'm still working on segmenting our last interview into all the different rabbit holes that we went down. But our goal is to get together once a week and film, and then just make content out of whatever it is that we're talking about that has to do with Mormonism. But we also do have some specific things planned, like I was saying before. Like, we're going to talk about our temple experiences. We decided to break that down into smaller episodes because it could be a 6-hour episode.
We're going to do like each ordination as its own episode. So we'll start with baptisms and.
Well, we were going to start with temple. Well, yeah, we should start with baptisms, but then temple prep class.
Or baby blessing.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember my baby blessing. Do you remember yours, Kirsten?
Well, since I am like the 3 Nephites, I remember. No, just kidding. Of course not. But I do remember my children's blessings and all my nieces and nephews and things like that. And it's all very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, we'll have to do a patriarchal blessing one too, because even though I burned mine, I did read it out loud for content before I did. I just haven't used it yet.
I should have kept mine. Mine was, I kept it in my temple bag, and I gave my temple bag to my mother before she died. I was moving and I just gave it to her because she had actually bought me all of my temple clothes. So I felt like it was kind of respectful to return it to her. And I told her, I was like, please give these to whoever you want. I know they'll mean something to someone, and my patriarchal blessing was in there. So I wish I had kept it, but I had no intention of ever doing any sort of YouTube content ever. But guys, this gets to the point. I memorized mine.
No, sir.
I did, because I thought if I ever wanted to remember it, to be able to reference it, and I couldn't find it or something happened. So I memorized it. I used to be in speech and debate, and I memorized it. So it probably would take me a little bit. I'm sure I would have to really recall hard, but I
No
could
kidding.
recite the majority of it to you. Yeah.
You know what? I just had a
Yeah.
thought, Kirsten. I wonder if we got our patriarchal blessing from the same patriarch.
Oh my God. Who did you get yours from?
Some old dude.
Me too. It probably wasn't
Me
the
too.
guy.
Wait, me too.
No, because I have to tell
That's
you,
disrespectful. You need to
This is-
say brother, old dude.
yeah, that's right. One of
Elder
the
brother.
this is actually a very indicative Mormon story. Most people, especially if they grow up in the church, get their patriarchal blessing sometime in their teens, usually like 14ish, 15ish. I did not feel worthy as a 14-year-old to get my patriarchal blessing.
Well, you probably weren't.
And
you've got to be worthy.
Yeah, so that's a rabbit hole for another time, because I definitely was, but I didn't feel like I was worthy. And so I never got my patriarchal blessing as a young person. I did not feel worthy until after I was married. And I think it was I probably had been married for a couple of years, and I can't remember if I had my second or third kids by then. I need to look it up and see what year it was, but we could have gotten patriarchal blessings from the same guy. That's what I'm saying, because of the age difference.
14 or 15. So if
I bet you it was the same guy.
I guarantee it was. My sister had hers done I think 2 years before me, and she had the same person. I don't know if my little sister did, but she didn't get hers for 4 years. But I was already in college at that point and things, so I don't remember. But I know me and my sister had the same patriarch. So if you were in your 20s at all, it was, I guarantee you, the same person. That's insane. Oh, I want to read yours and see.
That's another connection.
Me and my sister had read ours to each other, and we had many parts that were almost identical wording. So I really want to hear yours. I'm so interested to see if since I memorized mine, if it will pull things out, or if I can recite it at the same time you're saying it. How nuts is that? Okay, this is something we need to do. We need to have an episode on our patriarchal blessing, since it was given most likely by the same person.
Most definitely by the same guy.
I love that for us. That's insane.
It is crazy.
I guess it's really not. We grew up in the same state. I grew up, you lived there.
Right.
Yeah.
We already talked about Megan's channel. We could talk about Kirsten's channel as well that she has.
Yeah, which has just barely started. There it is. There's my face. Yay.
I'm so excited that you did this, Kirsten, because I know you were reluctant to do it, but I think so far the content that I've seen is amazing, and you look fabulous. And I think you're going to help so many people. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
I'm excited too. I think
thank you,
it's
guys.
incredible.
So, I mean, I have considered it for a long time, just because my story is a little bit unique compared to most people in the finance industry. I was forced out of the workforce. We talked about this previously, but being married in the temple to a priesthood holder and everything, I was meant to pop out babies and sit at home, even though I did have a college degree, which he did not. And, could have easily gotten a more prestigious job and probably supported our family better, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but he had the power of God, and you did not.
Right.
Okay.
He had the priesthood, so.
Right.
Yeah. So I, sat on this degree, did nothing for 7 years besides take care of babies. And when my divorce happened, I was trying really, really hard to figure out what to do with my life. I was very, very financially unstable. I had no savings at that time. He had already removed me from our joint bank account, so I didn't even have a bank account. And I chose to work at a preschool because she said I could have free childcare. I could just bring my kids with me to work. There were days I didn't even go to work because I didn't have any money to put gas in my car. And, now I'm making 6 figures being a financial professional, and I want people to get financial advice that they most likely cannot afford to get for themselves. I have even had the thought, which I'm not sure how this would come about, but I've had the thought in the past week that I would love to eventually have a nonprofit 5013C, just being able to provide financial advice free of cost to maybe women who are coming out of domestic violence relationships or find themselves in unfortunate situations. You know, not even just women. I mean, what about people that have found themselves on the brink of being without a home or recently lost their jobs? I've even considered maybe having people who come out of jail, who are trying to start their life over, being able to educate people on how to get their finances. There's a really great organization that the name is not coming to my mind right now. Thank you, perimenopause. But I worked with it at my firm that was specifically for individuals who had been wrongfully accused and been in prison and now receiving very large amounts of money, it's not retribution. Is it retribution? They're giving restitution. Thank you. Yeah. Again, perimenopause. Woo, we love her. They're receiving these large amounts and trying to figure out how to financially educate these people, tell them not to go out and buy a BMW, not just go buy whatever house looks good, because these are people who were already usually in a very unfortunate financial situation. And now wealth education is what they really need. How many times have we heard lottery winners lose all of their money, in 5 years? That's just something that does happen. And it's not because you don't have the means, it's because you don't have the education. So end of the day, that was a very long way for me to say is I just want to educate people who don't have the means or resources to pay someone to sit down with them and do that. I set up an email. Awesome. If people want to send me questions, I'm going to, hopefully when I get time, I'm going to put up my own personal budget sheet that I've used for years. I'm going to put up a wealth checklist that me and my husband are working on right now. That's step by step what to do to get out of debt and be able to start to build that wealth. I'm going to put a list together of the safest investments or good investments for long-term growth, what to look for if you're trying to get a home, things like that. Being in this industry has really opened my eyes, and I've seen how many people don't get that kind of knowledge that really deserve and need it. So
my dad used to say, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's how much money you save that's important. And I think that the service you're offering is incredible. And I also learned that maybe the problem with Jean and I is we're going through perimenopause because I forget so much shit.
Oh, it's so bad. I used to kind of balk at that idea. I'm like, okay, but no, man, the way that words just never come to my mind. I'm forgetting things. Even this morning, I went down, I was making my coffee, and I walked around to get the creamer out of the fridge, but apparently forgot between the 12 steps it took. And I walked around my entire island, came back to the coffee machine and stood in front of it and just stared at it like, why did I just walk around the whole island? And then I was like, creamer.
Definitely wasn't just for the exercise.
No.
Right.
Even my
I'm laughing because
what are you doing?
I can't tell you the number of times I go to the kitchen and open the fridge and stand there and stare into it wondering what the hell I'm supposed to be getting out of the fridge. And then I give up and I go sit back down, and then it's like, oh crap, it was the ketchup. And then I have to get up and go do it again.
I heard some really good advice about memory, but then I forgot it.
That's always the way.
It happens. Yeah.
So congratulations on this new venture. I think it'll go well now that we've probably helped 2 or 3 new subscribers for your channels. Click that button, go over there. We're going to have links in the description to the channels that we mentioned. And
Nice.
I'm not sure how many people actually click on the description below a video, but we have them there. I remember not caring about it until somebody started mentioning it more. And so, but there's a wealth of information underneath each video, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew nothing about YouTube before Megan. I didn't know there were comments. I didn't know, like, I knew nothing. And she was like, oh yeah. She had messaged me even before we first started talking. She had messaged me, and I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't see it for like 2 or 3 weeks because I didn't know what the bell thing was. Like, I had no clue. So I felt like such an old saying that. But
Well, I think what we can take away from this show is that the good stuff is in the subtexts, right? And that you're going to change that freaking dead puppy picture on your website to a happy picture with both of you actually smiling. I think that'll carry your channel far.
Yeah.
That's
oh,
right.
that's what we should do, Megan. Because it's keep sweet, right? And no boisterous laughter or loud laughter.
Laughter.
Pray and keep sweet.
So it's actually for the Mormon church, it's keep sweet, pay, and
That's
pay
right.
to pray.
pray.
We keep thinking of all of these great channel names like afterwards, and it's I had to apologize to Kirsten because she had come up with all of these really cute names and sent them to me in a text, and I was like, yeah, those are all awesome. I'm just going to call it ExMo Snark because I had been thinking about, starting a different channel anyway for my ex-Mormon content. And that's what I was going to call it. And I sort of like had this brain fog where I didn't remember really that this was our channel, not just my channel.
I was like, okay.
So she had all these great suggestions. And then I'm just going to call it this. And then later I went back and I was like, I didn't even consider any of those names because I was like, I don't want to think about it. I just already have decided. So I apologized to Kirsten. And ever since then, we've come up with probably 5 or 10 really great names. The next of which is we should have called it Loud Laughter. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our TikTok and our Instagram is Outer Snarkness, which I love.
I love that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I mean,
if
I
you
feel
really
like that
wanna-
is very on brand for us, especially, with my family having the second anointing. I am definitely in Outer Snarkness.
We have to talk about
Well, yeah, no, you're good. You're good to go.
Yeah, you're good.
Because
You're
it's
not
4
going. I am.
generations.
Well, according to the
Megan's going
letter I
straight to hell.
got when I removed my names from the records, I got a letter saying that I was sitting on the right hand of Satan. So
Nice.
That's an episode.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Well,
episode.
exciting
right
letter. I mean, my
That's a
husband.
podcast name. Sitting on the right hand of Satan.
And that's my logo up in the corner of this
I
video.
know. I love
Is
it.
little devil. If you really want to bring in the subscriptions, I'm just saying you could call your channel from tits to tithing, and I assure you, you'll get a ton of views.
Are those the views we want, though, Randy?
Well,
I mean, if I
know.
wanted that, that's what I would call my OnlyFans. I mean, let's
Right.
be honest.
Right.
right.
Exactly. Right.
Well, I'm such a sexist today, and I'm sorry because I'm going to pull that out because I am not a sexist at all.
No, you're not. And here's the thing: like I feel like when women are making jokes about their own bodies and things like that, I think men can take that as a lead-in, and they can, take that as like okay, they're leading the way, then I can participate. I don't know.
That's
Well,
right.
maybe I'll leave it in then because that's sage advice, and
We're just mirroring your energy.
Exactly. Yeah.
right.
No, I think that's true. Like, if someone came up to me and would be like, "Oh, you should talk about your tits more," I'd be like, "Oh, what?" But when I'm like, "I really should talk about my tits more," he goes, "Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you get more views." There's a difference there in that energy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you guys are fine.
Okay. Whew. Well,
Because we
I
talked
can't
about
tell you.
Randy and I talked about our tits as well in this program.
That's true.
Right.
I love- yeah,
We do.
Yeah. So we all
we
have them.
nipples.
It's exciting. That should be how
Men
it
also
starts.
have
We have
nipples.
nipples.
Right.
It's Randy and I's new channel. We have nipples.
You should probably title this episode 4 Microphones and 8 Nipples.
Aw, I love that.
You know, having been a massage therapist, I can tell you that it could be 8 nipples or it could be 9 or 10 because a lot of people have extra nipples, which is really weird. And some of them don't even know that they're nipples. But that's a whole different show,
I've
right?
heard that.
Or you could also call this episode 4 Boobs and Kirsten and Megan also.
Aw, I love that.
That's hilarious.
See, this is why our episodes get so long because me and Megan just start going off, and then we're like, "Oh, we should probably cut that out."
No, this is all gold right here, and
that's another part of our members only content is going to be our outtakes from the videos that we don't, the things that we don't put in the videos
behind the scenes.
Yeah. So we get a little crazy sometimes.
A little bit,
but, yeah.
Anyone can see why I love their channel so much because you guys are just so damn cool and funny.
Hey,
well,
thanks.
So,
can you tell my kids that? Jeez, I showed my teenagers my TikTok. I thought it was so funny, the rapture one, and literally they go, "Okay, how long did it take you to do that?" And I was like, "Okay." I'll go finish dinner.
But they're not your target audience, though, Kirsten. That's what you have to remember.
Yeah, but a lot of current Mormons apparently are. They have been driving up my reach so much. I love it. That. I love it so much. They're like, "Have you talked to your stake president about this?" And I was like, I wanted so badly to be like, that would be an awkward conversation since they don't know me. But
I think you should record it and use it in an episode.
There you go.
They'll be like, "Aren't you not a member and you sit on the right hand of Satan and you have people in your family that have been excommunicated?" And I'll be like, "That is me. Would you like to chat?"
So Kirsten, whenever we do get together in person, I think that we should invite a pair of LDS missionaries to sit down with us. And we can ask them if we can come back to church. Can we come back to church? And I'm just going to say, if I wear this, can I come back to church? If I bring my flask, can I come back to church? We just ask them all of the questions of this is how we want church to be.
I don't think we haven't talked about this on the channel yet, but I used to volunteer at the MTC Center. They come in and they practice and you pretend you're an investigator and they talk to you. I was specifically asked to stop coming because I would be like, "Well, my boyfriend lives here." And they'd be like, and I'd be like, "So is that a big deal? He doesn't want to talk to you guys, but we live together and I think I might be pregnant," and stuff. And they'd be like, And then one time, this is the one I think that got me kicked out, is because they knock on the door and I opened it and I was like, "Oh, my girlfriend's not here. Can you guys come back later when she is here? Because we're thinking about getting married, but we want to raise our adopted children in a church." And they were like,
"Hey, you were giving them real scenarios."
Thank you. That's what I thought. They said give them real scenarios and ask real questions. Yep. So I figured eventually they're going to come across a lesbian couple who might be looking for a church to attend with their adopted children.
Yeah.
So
that would take it to a whole nother level. And I highly encourage that. That would be hilarious.
So, we could tell them we're together, Megan.
That'd be great.
We left the church, we found each other, we're deeply in love, and now we want to be Mormon again. Yeah. How's that going to work? But we're not going to get married because we like the idea of living in adultery.
There you go.
Yeah. Live in sin. I'm living in sin.
And then the rapture will happen.
And we'll still be here. So
Hey.
Right.
That's right. So everybody like and subscribe to all the channels we've mentioned, even Randy's or mine, whatever you want, like and subscribe. Sharing is caring as well. If you know people that could use this episode, that could use financial advice or snark or family home evening fun.
Or loud laughter.
or self-improvement with Megan's
nipples.
other channel. Or nipples. I
There you
I
go.
could actually show you. Speaking of nipples.
There you go.
Baby.
Nipples.
Like, what
Aw.
are you doing?
That dog's name is Oliver Kitty.
Yes, this is my Oliver Kitty.
I love that.
Okay, gang.
I've always
Well, let me, you know what? I'm going to put an end to this, but stay where you are.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, guys. Love you all. Once again, Megan and Kirsten, thank you so much. It has been as fun as I knew it would be. So we'll see you next time.
Right.